I don't want to make something unpractical. That's not my journey. It is 6:44. I did in fact finish the bottom panel to the small whilst I was editing my YouTube video. And then I went on a walk, ate dinner, and I decided on my walk that I want to switch to focusing just on the small, just because I really want the medium to turn out well. Obviously it's a lot harder. I mean, I can't, with my current supplies, re-replicate either of these, but the medium in particular, I really want to do that one well. Not that I don't want to do this one well, but you get what I mean. It's a bit of a smaller canvas, so if I mess something up, I might be more likely to redo it. There are some slightly smaller purse pieces that I'm going to need to cut out, but I think I want to start making some progress on the strap, just because that's going to be a behemoth, and the more I put it off, the longer it's going to take me to finish this. So let me sketch out the bags in general, because I don't currently have a sketch. And then here is my semi, it's actually really small. I'll definitely probably go back and redo that sketch, but I remember learning how to draw three-dimensionally in maybe like 4th grade, and it's a skill that I use regularly. I listed out the numbers. Technically I listed out the measurements because this is currently 6x4, but the ones that I want for the final design are going to be 6.5 by 4.5. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to remember that as I'm measuring. This, however, my first sample is still the 6x4. That's how I decided I wanted to increase by 0.5 on either side, and the strap is too short, so let's get this squared away. I'm eating a gluten-free Chips Ahoy cookie. They are really good. They taste like regular Chips Ahoy to me, but I also haven't had Chips Ahoy in quite some time, so I don't know. This is my current one. The main issue is that it doesn't drop enough, so you can figure it out. I'm measuring it to see how long it currently is. It's not going to be the most accurate measurement, but it will suffice. I do have this written down, I believe, but I just want to measure. 23. Actually, I do want to double check that. How did I get that length? This says 15 times 2, but this is not 30. If it was, I would be in a better predicament. This is 100% 23 inches, maybe 23 and a half. Does it even have my 9 inches of drop depth? No, it only has 5. I don't know what I was going on about, but okay. This is currently our situation. I need this to be more so like here. So I need to drop it by about 3 inches, which means the drop needs to be 8 inches, I think. Welcome to inaccurate measuring. 9 inches would be perfect. I should probably shoot for 9 so that if it ends up being 8, it's okay. Okay, so we want 9-inch drop depth. I literally just wrote out depth. No girl. Can I even spell? No. Plus for both sides, because in this case we're doing 4.5, but well, in our case we're doing 4, but in that case it's 4.5, so 4.5 plus 4.5 equals 9. If you can't tell, the strap is the side, the bottom is its own separate piece, but the strap is the side. So that's already 18. This is about 15. I think that's how I got 15. This is 15. I don't know what that number is supposed to tell me. Let me just see. If we do 28, puts us here. I think I'm shooting for 28. Because then the other one can be 30 if need be, if not even 32. So plus 10-inch give, which is like 5 on either side. So we're gonna go for 28 inches. And this has to be, that's a 28-inch total. And because I don't have a sheet of canvas that is quite that long, I cut 2 pieces and then attach them in the middle. So let's do 15 inches per, wait, yeah, 15 inches times 2, and then it's going to be a 2-inch crossover. And the crossover is, as you'll see, where I'm just overlapping the 2 pieces so that the extra length is fine and dandy, you know? Okay, let's get to cutting. I, in fact, got started on this while I was on the phone with my friend, but this is it. It's a little bit more than 28, it's kind of like 28 and a half, and we shall see. Currently, it hasn't been super painful of a process. I do anticipate that it will grow to be more painful, just because as I get into the depths and it's harder to like get my handling all situated. Yeah, you might think to yourself, why don't you just do it vertically? Like, why don't you just but I find that's even worse. I feel like when it's stitched horizontally, it just feels a bit more secure. It does mean that if I mess it up, it's not a good situation. Hence why, even though I knew this strap was too short, I just had to go with it. It's currently 7:49. Let's see how much I get done before I go to bed. I did go ahead and pre-cut a few of these little lengths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th one. So my goal is to at least get through those 7. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish this tonight. It is 9:43 and I've hit a bit of a roadblock. I am like almost halfway into my 4th row and I fear this might be unproportional, but we will talk about it in the morning. Good morning, girlies. I wish I had thought of this yesterday, and it wasn't until I was working on the strap piece that I was like, I should have mock built the bag. I should have mocked out the bag to see how I was feeling about the length, to see how it looked next to everything, because this is like an inch or 2 too long. I probably could do with like 26 inches. Yeah, that would be perfect. Because, okay, the reason why I really like this is this looks proportional. Like, this strap length makes sense. But it really just needed like 2 more inches, an inch on each side, realistically. And I kind of went OD with it. So, like, this makes sense. This does not make sense as much. I fear I have no other option but to undo all of this, because I was considering making the strap for the medium slightly thicker, just so that you have more like room to put stuff in the slightly bigger bag. But what I can do is measure this strap on the medium to get a feel for later. Okay, I tried this strap length on the medium size and I feel like this does look more proportional to the medium. I think I am having some thoughts and feelings about all the color going on, but I'm going to save those thoughts and feelings for another time. I do want to measure my drop depth. It is 7, which I think is my lucky number. I thought it was 9, but I fear it may in fact be 7, 7.5 even, but like 7. All right, let's slip over. Like a dream. No, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. I might go to 7.5 just so that it's like the slightest bit lower. I know what you're thinking, Taylor, you don't have to unravel it, just use this one on this. But like, what if I could get a slightly wider band? What if? You know, like imagine 2.5. I think I could do 2.5. I think I can do 2.5, and I want to try it. So I do feel like there's a lot going on. I do feel like there's a lot going on. I think it's in a way that other people would like. I'm just more of a monotonous girly, so this is like a lot for my eyes, but I do think it's not actually a lot in theory. Like, let me wait, decide with color. Like, that's fun. Like, that little pop of color, that is very fun. I just have to get used to it. I'm going to painstakingly take all this out, shorten it for this girly pop, and get back working. I'm just really hopeful that I'm still going to like it, because my other option is to just have it at this size, but then it's like not super practical for actually putting it on, and then it's like, well, then what's the point? I don't want to make something unpractical. That's not my journey, but it feels awful to have to unravel something, or unravel something for literally an inch difference on either side. But I guess that's just the process of designing. I literally, when I was initially making this video, maybe like a few days ago, I was thinking in my head, I was like, this is gonna be such a boring video. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Like, I'm so capable. Like, it's gonna go so well. I just need to shut up in my brain.
Let alone expecting the world to be interested in really watching it. Again, even though I still get a lot of comments and messages of people saying like, it doesn't matter, we love the everyday stuff, it's not boring to us. Like, people claim that, but the numbers don't lie.
I cannot lie, mentally today is a bit of a weird day. I'm feeling like being productive, but I'm also working very slow, distracting myself. I don't really know what's going on today. I unraveled the initial strap, pinned it back together, and this is with a 7-inch drop. So let's try it on. It's good. Now I think I want to see it with a 6-inch drop just to test it, because I do feel like this looks ever so slightly big, like compared to this one, ever so slightly big. And obviously it will be 6.5 or 4.5 soon, so maybe I should just leave it like this, but why not test it out? I will say that I did properly learn my lesson, and I will make sure that going further I will. What I remembered was that because I was on the phone with my friend when I was cutting the canvas, I just kind of wanted to get started. You know when you just want to get started. And so yeah, that is what distracted me. No shade to my friend. All right, I think this is correct. Let me measure it, because I just don't want it all up in my armpit. And I also know that I am like a large, extra large sometimes, so like for a tinier person it will be completely fine, but I need to make sure that it'll be good for me. This is 24 inches and it's definitely in zip it, so I feel like it's like not super in the pit, but I might as well just do 25 inches. I might end up doing like 24.5, to be honest. Yeah, 24 is like ever so slightly not there. 24.5 would be perfect. Do I do 24.5? I just don't know how I would quite make that work. I don't know. Sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves. Right now, I'm being a little bit obsessed about this. I am. But because I just unraveled all that, I don't want to have to do that again. So this is 24. This is 24.5. I do like how this looks like this wise. I don't feel like the handle looks ridiculous. I feel like this feels proportionate to this. The key thing here, we need to pay attention to where the stitch markers are, and I think this is perfect. This feels comfortable. This feels good. Even if it was a little bit tighter, I'll be like here-ish. it still has a little bit room before it hits the top of my tank top, which means once it's all lifted up and stitched together nice and tight, it should be good. I can wear a jacket with this. It'll be chilling, big chilling. All right, I'm committing. We're locking in at 24.5 for this size, or 25 for the size that this will actually be, and we're gonna get back to stitching. Thank you for coming along this journey with me. It's currently 12:18. I will update you with my progress. Hello girlies. It is the next day. Apologies for the audio. They are doing some lawn care. I did in fact finish the strap yesterday evening. I like went on my blog and like went out and stuff, so I wasn't working on all day, but I did manage to get it done. Today is Saturday, January 18th. We are hours away from TikTok going dark, and I'm feeling, well, I feel like I just kind of is what it is. Like I was telling my friend about it yesterday. I'm very grateful that I've always been cross-posting on platforms. So like I would do some get ready with me type content on TikTok that I wouldn't necessarily post on other platforms, but all of my like progressy type things, making crocheting type things, I've always posted. A lot of my just like aesthetic-y posy type videos I've always posted. So, and also honestly having my YouTube channel document a lot of like my actual thoughts and feelings about things means that I pretty much have that part covered. I mean, it definitely is a loss in the sense that like the discoverability that TikTok gives creators, in the sense that like you could post something and get only 200 views, or you could get 2 million. Like you really don't know, and you don't know what post it's gonna be. I feel like to some extent, if you are in a niche on YouTube like I am, there is a similar potentiality with YouTube Shorts, at least a lot more than with Reels. I do know that some small business owners, specifically crocheters, have found quite a bit of success with Reels, but it just takes a certain something. Speaking of that, my Reels and my Instagram has been growing because I've been very intentional about that for the past month. So I feel very blessed, because especially I never put my stuff on TikTok Shop just because I felt weird about it. I'm not necessarily going to see a loss of income from TikTok, but I will lose a lot of discoverability and some of my leads that would lead to customers. This morning I decided that I want to get the purse pieces, which are the middle pieces that act as a sort of closure, and I want to build the bag so that I can like plan out how I'm going to put it together. And no, it looks so good. I had to redo this little section because I needle pointed it incorrectly. I don't know why none of you guys told me, but I went through and redid it. I also like that like you can see the red stitching, but it's not anything too crazy. And I was very much so worried about how I feel about this color, but I think she slays. Definitely feel like there's enough armpit room, even with me wearing somewhat of a layer, which means even with my cardigans, it'll be chill. Let's build her. I, as you know, try to weave in the least amount of ends possible. So let's plan out how I would go about crocheting this. I think I'm gonna to have at least 2 ends / 2 start points. So I think if I crochet together this back piece as just one, like this top back piece, then I take it from this side, I take it from this side, go zoom, 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 whoa, zoom, 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 I think, right? I just feel like this top piece has to get done because I don't know where else I would pick it up unless I did like zoom, 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 zoom. Yeah, it has to come from the back piece. So that's up. I need both sides to get incorporated. Brain lagging. We might just have to figure it out on the spot.
Mind you, I'm still arguing with the moving company about my items, which I have to keep in my house because I have to be able to provide them with pictures on hand of said item. and they urge you to hold on to it until the claim is solved. That's it. That's what this case is about. It's not about why you drank. It's not about nothing else. Like, no one cares. You drank and you drove. That's what's against the law. It's so disappointing because it's one thing you make a mistake, you do a mindless thing. It's another thing when you make that same mistake twice.
It is 3:32, and if you can't tell by my hair, I am in the trenches of despair. I think my thoughts on TikTok getting banned. The girls who know, I in college studied philosophy, and I was really big in like what most would call critical race theory and things like that, and you know, futurism and stuff like that. I feel like the most concerning thing about the TikTok ban is the implications and also like what it means for where we are at as a society. My thoughts are still kind of like half-baked, so I don't really feel like going into it fully, but my brain is like buzzing in the sense that there's just no positive. I fear there's no positive. I mean, the only positive is that hopefully more people in the middle and lower class are waking up and being like, wait a minute, what's really going on here? Like, what's the tea? That is hopefully the positive that's going on. Hopefully. I want to make it abundantly clear that just because I have a small business, just because I price the way that I price, and just because I maybe have a little bit of clout because I have a beautiful, wonderful group of people who decide to listen to what I have to say, that does not mean that I am bringing in a whole lot of money. It means that I have ethics and creativity and I'm passionate about what I do. Never conflate the two. Anyways, during all my scrolling, I did in fact finish the bag, and to be honest, I'm gonna be 100% honest, in this exact moment I don't know how I feel. I'm very proud of myself for getting it done. I think that it's a very, very cool concept. I wouldn't say that these are necessarily my personal colors. However, that's kind of all I would say the craftsmanship is kind of amazing. And I decided to leave out the ends to show you guys that I will have 3 ends to sew in, which is honestly not too bad. I do feel like this is going to be a grower, not a shower for me. Like, the more that I wear it and get to style it and stuff like that, the more exciting I'll be about it. But yeah, I am going to force myself to go on a walk. I really don't feel like going on a walk, but it's supposed to be pretty cold next week, and so I should make the most of this pretty actually decent weather that we're having right now, and maybe a walk will help clear my head. When I come back, theoretically I'll start working on the medium size, but okay, we're doing pretty good. This is how much of the ribbon I have. I feel good about it. I think doing what I did for this one and pre-cutting little sections helped. Crocheting does eat up yarn, it really does, but I have faith. I have faith. So I probably used up a little bit more than 1/3. So anyways, okay, I'm back. I reflected, and this bag is so cute. It is literally so cute. I can't believe that I made this with my hands. I love everything that I did with it. I feel like there's a lot of room to expand with this line of bags, and I'm excited to see how the medium version turns out. Now, because I'm doing 2 different sizes, I do want to make the second one overall bigger. Obviously the front and back are already bigger, but I want to see if I can make this slightly wider. Initially I was shooting for 2.5, but I don't think I'm gonna get my full 2.5. I feel like 2.5 might be ODing it. Let's see what this would be. Right here. Yeah, that's 2.5. So essentially with this little lining bit, that doesn't add a full 1/2 inch, but along those lines. So the most I can add is 1/2 inch, if you're following me. So I'm gonna make the second bag 2 inches wide as opposed to 2.5. And not 1.5. This is currently 1.5. I feel like that extra 1/2 inch should do something for how much you can fit in. I mean, it's very much so meant to be like a shoulder bag, like a throw on type moment. Regardless, did you see the train of thought emptying out my brain? Did you witness the train of thought flying off out of the hemisphere of my brain? It just was like, bye Taylor. Anyways, let me cut the pieces. I cut out all of my purse pieces, the 2 parts to my strap. I decided to do it in 2 parts. 1, because like I said, I don't have plastic canvas long enough, and 2, I find it supportive when I can like overlap it in the middle, just to like, you know, keep it nice and sturdy. If I had something to demonstrate, the bags can take a lot of weight. I've never snapped a bag in that way at all, anywhere close to that, but I just want to make sure that for people who are even more wild with their bags than I am, that we're good. Additionally, I cut the, ooh, that reminds me, I needed to write down the measurements that I did for the closure pieces. 1, I made this 15 inches, each of those are 15 inches, so I have a 2-inch overlap, just because this bag is slightly bigger. I did a 1.5 inch overlap for the other bag, or no, it's just 1 inch. All of this I do just to make things more sturdy. Then I did a 3.5 inch little closure flap, and I did a 4-inch closure flap for this, and I did not end up doing 2.5 inches. I in fact did 2 inches. This feels really wide to me. I think it'll be like good for the shoulder, but yeah, I'm glad that I did not do 2.5 inches. That would have been quite a bit. Am I going to build this bag to make sure I like it? Fine! Here we have some mock-up. She is a beefy girl, let me tell you. 2 inches. Loving the length. Perf. I will say, she could just, let me see how much this overlap is. Hold on before I get to yapping. This is a 2.5 inch overlap, and I do feel that we could just do 2 inches. Yes. That is better. That slays. That's good. That is what we're working with. Like I said, 2 inch. What? It was supposed to be 2 inches to begin with. I don't know how I made it more than that. But regardless, I will measure the final length of this. Hold me to that. And I'm going to start on the bottom piece. And I will see you soon. I'm currently trying to speed edit a YouTube video for 2 reasons. 1, I edit my YouTube videos on CapCut. I've loved editing my videos on CapCut. Before that, I was using iMovie, and there was just some feature. iMovie was fine when I was just editing for myself, but when I was editing for the magazine that I was working for, I just needed something a bit better, but I also didn't quite feel like I need to pay for like Final Cut Pro or anything like that. I switched over to CapCut, which was amazing. I love CapCut. They have now made a lot of the features, like put it behind a paywall and stuff. So I have been like side-eyeing it, and so I have been teaching myself how to use DaVinci Resolve, which is just a lot more like not as user-friendly, and like you just kind of have to know what you're doing more. And I've definitely learned a lot, but I wasn't quite ready to make the switch fully over to DaVinci Resolve. But anyways, with the TikTok ban, CapCut and Lemonade are technically owned by ByteDance, who owns TikTok. Now, because I have CapCut downloaded on my laptop and I'm not signed in, I don't know if everything that's supposed to go down tomorrow will affect it. But I spent way too long on this YouTube video to let that chance, and I'm supposed to post a YouTube video tomorrow anyways. So, finishing up editing this, and I will start working on this. Well, actually, I'm going to be spending a lot of time pre-cutting these, and then we'll see how much of this I actually get done. Can you see? She's like a beefy girl, you know? You can definitely slide a snack or 2 into this. Not that you can't the other one, but definitely this one. Oh, I want to see the drop. I'm very hyper right now, and I'm just starting to drink my coffee. It did not come from that. The drop is 7 inches. That's my golden amount. 7-inch drop. All this, make the collar, and do the ties. We are going to trust God. I did look up if it was possible for me to DoorDash yarn, and it is possible, but they don't have the color that I need, so that's not quite helpful. Good morning, girlies. It is currently 9:14, Sunday, January 19th. They were not lying about the TikTok ban. It was shocking to come back home from dinner last night and use the bathroom and start scrolling my phone, as I do, only to receive the jump scare of a message. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Like, I low-key need to use the bathroom right now, but I'm like, I can't just sit with my thoughts. And it feels weird to like watch a YouTube video, because like, and I tried to watch reels. I mean, they're okay, but like, it's just, the thing about Instagram reels is, well, okay, the difference between TikTok and Instagram is that TikTok showed you all of your different interests. Like, it was showing me the political things I was interested in, the lifestyle things, the fashion things, the story times, the funny skits that would make me laugh in my different phases of relationships and stuff. It would show me like things that worked for that, versus Instagram reels, it's all either just super horny stuff or it's like funny stuff that's like on the line, you know? There's no like mix of other things. Last night I probably got to like here on this, and then I finished this up this morning. My delusional goal is to finish this bag today because I want to start working on the cardigan tomorrow. I don't have too many plans today, so I feel like it's not too delusional of a goal, but I guess we'll see. Let's see how much of this I'm able to get done. I'm still very much so loving the thickness, and I've really been loving the having these already pre-cut. Slays.
But the most troubling of all will be the ones who stand on the outside looking in. The ones we never truly get to know.
Today may be the dawn of a dark era, but at least I'm having a fabulous hair day. I mean, she's full. She's giving length. Slay. And she's still giving curl. My hair is like barely even stretched out, and it's serving. Today is January 20th. Happy MLK Day. That's all I have to say about that. I almost finished the strap last night. I was like 1.5 rows away, but I was tired. This morning I completed the strap, the purse pieces, and this is how much ribbon I have. It's not a lot, but I have faith it's going to be just enough, because if it's not, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I don't really want to think about it. Let's get into it.
Where they just show the before and the after 6 months later, but no one really talks about really what goes on in between those 6 months. For the email I received that rather shocked me was just, it shocked me because I only had 2 things that were very reiterated to me about post-surgery. One was that for up to 2 months, I was gonna be hunched over.
Some patients, please do not stretch on your incision for a couple months after surgery. You may be feeling great and you want to like, yeah, stay a little hunched. And the way to stay hunched isn't like with your back, but it's more with your thighs.
Just the last purple tag one, let's see. Oh, that's cute. Little florals. 3 of these, I'm super happy with that.
In the most unfortunate turn of events, despite my recent success with yarn, I in fact have lost yarn chicken. I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to put this project down. But when I figure it out, I will talk to you. Good morning, girlies. Why did I say good morning? It's like 11:56. It's barely morning. It is, however, basically a week later. Once I got to the point where I had run out of ribbon, I was just kind of at a standstill. Because what happened on election day, I was like, okay, it's less than a week later. Today is Saturday, January 25th. What I did do in the meantime was finish the coordinating cardigan, which is the video before this. So we've been productive, but it's time for me to figure this out. I was trying to go back and forth as to whether I wanted to just bite the bullet and purchase more ribbon on Amazon, but I'm really trying to like just use what I have. And so I was thinking about it and I was like, honestly, this doesn't have to be 2.5 inches. Like, this can be 2 inches. It'll still be 1/2 inch wider than the small size, and I feel like that's adequate enough. Now, does that mean I'm going to have to go through and unravel 1/2 inch worth of this ribbon on the side and the bottom? Well, yes. I thought I was going to be able to outsmart the system and leave what I already have done, but I connected the bottom on this one side. It's actually where I started from. So I am going to have to completely undo all of this, which is fine. And then I'm going to mark where 2 inches stops on the strap and on the bottom, and then I'm going to unpick, unstitch all that. And if that's not enough ribbon, well, it's gonna have to be. It is currently much later, 7:14-ish. I worked on this quite a bit. Number one, I didn't remember because it's been so long since I worked on this, but I had already made this 2 inches. So then initially I unraveled it to 1.75 inches, but then I was looking at the amount of ribbon that I had, and then because I would like to make a plain version of this, I was like, well, if I'm struggling with this amount of ribbon for what I'm doing for these 2 bags, then like maybe I should just make them the same depth, the same width or whatever. So I ended up going down to 1.5 inches, which I think is fine. I mean, I think it will definitely look cleaner on the shoulder, and the bag is already functional. Like, you can very much so put things in it. It is also functional art in a certain way, so I'm going to use that as my excuse for why I'm not making that deeper. And if eventually I can find source ribbon that comes in more than 100 yards, I'll consider making the depth bigger, but for now, this is what we got. I will be heading out again in like an hour-ish, an hour and a half-ish. So let's see how much of this I can get done. I have just enough ribbon, I think. I pray. So let's see what we can do.
We ask God to grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change.
Because so many of us rage against the hand that life has dealt us.
The courage to change the things we can.
Because so many of us are cowardly and afraid to stand up for what is right.
Hello girlies, 'tis the next day. It is currently Sunday, January 26th at 11:36 a.m. Yesterday, before I left, I almost finished the bag. So close. This is where we're at. I just have this little bottom bit to do. However, the only ribbon that I have left is this, and this. That being said, because I made this part less wide, now my closure is too long, so I'm going to unsew my closure, take off the crochet edging, and cut it down to 3.5 inches as opposed to 4.5, I think it is right now, and that should give me the remaining ribbon that I need to complete it. I have to be honest, last night when I completed like where I was at, I was feeling a little bit just kind of about the bag. I really like the idea of having a slightly wider version, especially for how tall this is. I just don't know if this is fully as proportionate as I would like if I'm going to offer an option as big as this. I like the idea of it. I definitely like the idea of it, but I don't currently love the execution. So we'll see how that changes as I complete this last little bit. But what I do know for sure is, because I don't love the execution of this one, I'm gonna keep this one as my personal one, and I'll make the smaller size available as like a ready to ship sample, just because that one is pretty perfect. The strap is just like an inch shorter, or an inch too short, but also the bag itself is a little bit smaller, so that one all works out. But this one, yeah, I think I just need to play around with a plain version of this bag, which I do have plans to do in this upcoming week, to see if it's feasible. Because I think if it was slightly thicker, like if it was the original 2 inches, that additional half an inch would make a difference for me. But let's do what I said I need to do.
And I think I'll try on each piece as I'm talking about it, so that you know how it looks like on the body.
In January, I spent most of my month, as I will be doing this year, knitting a sweater for a colleague turned friend who's defending her PhD.
That's what I use to plan every single aspect of my business. I will show you guys some of the Notion dashboard in this video, but I'm going to do a full Notion dashboard overview and walkthrough in another video coming up soon.
It's 12:28, almost an hour later. This looks so much cleaner. I'm sure it's going to fit under my armpit so much better now. And back here, I literally ran out of ribbon in like the final 3 stitches, so I had to grab the wider ribbon, but such is life. I'm going to weave in my ends, give myself some time to reflect on how I feel about these, and I will see you later this evening with my reflection. It's a little bit later, and I would be lying if I said I hadn't been kind of putting this off. Not because I hate the finished results or anything like that, but it's because they're not perfect. Well, one is perfect, and I'll let you figure out which one I think is the most perfect. But here are my beautiful babies. Like a mother, I cannot pick favorites, but if I could, it would be her. I just feel like in the video while I was making this, I was kind of fighting myself on whether or not I liked the small size, mostly because I don't know how I feel about it like practically, not because of me myself I can't find a practical use for it, but just because like hearing the voice of other people in my head being like, oh, like what can fit in there, your phone? It's like, yes. Yes, my phone. I modeled this bag off of this NYGC clutch handbag, which for a long time I didn't release this size, even though this is one of my OG sizes, when I was first trying to re-amplify the designs back in like December 2022. So I've always liked a thinner bag. I just find that like it like dresses up an outfit very easily, whereas some of the bigger bags can lean more casual, especially if you have the strap on. These are just like perfect if I'm like going out. I feel very secure. Not that anyone's ever stolen anything out of any of my bags, but you know, it just is a good size to me. So it was really nothing for me to just transport that into a sort of shoulder situation. I don't know why I feel the need to defend this, but if you ask me what is your most used size of an NYGC handbag, it is this. Hands down, absolutely, positively. That translating into a cutesy little shoulder bag, I know that for me, like, babe, I'm out the door, just like this. Like, are you kidding me? This is such a sleigh. This is so cute, and it very much so like sits on your shoulders just well enough. Like, I don't really think that I could widen the strap too much more and it comfortably not feel like it's constantly going to like fall off your shoulder, if you get what I mean. Most bags that have a wide base at the bottom sort of taper in, and just with the nature of plastic canvas, I've been really sticking to like linear type lines, not really going too much into diagonals. It is possible, I feel like, theoretically, but I just personally like the more, you know, shoot type silhouettes. So that is how we ended up here. I like the closure, I like the side size. The only thing that will be adjusted in the next version is I'm making it 1/2 inch wider and 1/2 inch taller, just so that any size phone can definitely fit in it. But those are my only notes. Now for mother's problem child, that would be her. She is my problem child. Why is she my problem child? Because I just am not 100% satisfied, not at least as satisfied as I am with the other one. I will say, I do like that you can see it more, like on the arm, you know? Like it's like, oh, hello, you know? That I do like. I do like that. But like, whereas with this bag in this current size, your arm does kind of block some of the color. This one, you see it immediately. So that is like, I can't lie. However, I just don't know. I'm unsure. I'm quite uncertain. I'm probably gonna have to keep looking at it for a few days. I don't think that it's unpractical. I think the height does make this feel like a more practical bag, like more people might find use with this bag. I do feel like because it is slightly bigger, and especially with a more gridded, you know, out coloring situation, it does take quite a bit of time. Not in a way where I feel like I was wasting my time, but it did take a lot more mental effort to create this sort of canvas versus this one. So they kind of end up looking a little bit different from each other in a very like fun way. I think I'm convincing myself. I think that because I was expecting this to be wider and that to be like the biggest part that was the differential, now that I don't have that, my brain is to a certain extent coming up with excuses. It is, I'll admit it. Now what I do think could be interesting is another version where it was less tall. So maybe this is currently 6 inches, so maybe we go down to 5 inches, but maybe we make it a little bit wider. I feel like that could be interesting. I just gave myself an idea. So I feel like half my issue with this is that while I don't mind the squareness and this tinier shape, I don't know how I feel about it in this, and neither of them are squares. They are very much so rectangles, but I don't know. Chaos. Suffice to say, I am very uncertain still about this one. You will have to stay tuned to future videos to see if I end up deciding to release a version this size, but I am very proud of it, and especially considering this is literally what inspired it. Like this back panel, when I made it November 2023, my life looked completely different. I just needed something to like re-get it into needlepoint and crochet, not because I didn't have a lot of ideas, but because I had too many ideas. So to have a completely blank canvas, pull out something that I've been wanting to work with and come up with this that ended up creating this and this and this, it's very fun, and I'm excited to see what I end up doing with these bags. You will in fact be seeing more videos of these bags to come, because you didn't think that I was only going to launch a multicolored version of this. Stop it. Also, I do feel like I owe the people one thing. Hold on. If you're wondering, no, I'm still not over this cardigan. This is, talk about mother's new child. This is my new child, and she is in fact my favorite, at least at the moment. Anyways, I wanted to try it on. Oh, it's a lot of color. It is giving a lot of color. Let's try it on with the cardigan, it's definitely a lot. No, we can be honest with ourselves. It's a lot. It is a lot. But is it a lot in like a sleigh way? I don't think so. I think like from down, you know, even like a little wrist action, it's chill, but on the shoulder, it's a lot. Let's see this one. See, this one is working ever so slightly more for me. Now the reds are not the same. That could frustrate me. But for some reason, this works a little bit more for me. Something to think about, that's for sure. Unfortunately, I think putting on this cardigan has only further confused my opinion on the subject, but it's safe to say these bags are going to be something you'll be seeing a lot more of. I can't wait to see where I go from here. And if you would like to see more of me and where these bags take me, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. If you would like to check out my made to order pieces and eventually be able to purchase one of these pieces made to order, because I can't ship one of my babies, although I might send off one. I don't think I need 2 purses with the same color scheme. We'll see though. You can check them out on NYGCbyTaylor.com. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. So I hope that you like this one and subscribe to my channel so it pops up on your recommended. Anyways, goodbye girlies.